Hey, okay, so what's the deal, everybody? It's of course your boy Volandis back with another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most insane lenses that I ever used for filmmaking photography, just in general. And that lens is the Lensbaby Sweet 35, which is a hilarious name for a piece of camera equipment. So I heard about this lens quite recently because I was scrolling on Instagram, as I so often do in my free time here and there. And I'm not gonna lie, Instagram, if you're looking to not buy anything, don't go on Instagram, because it's basically just a web shop, like a curated, aesthetically pleasing web shop at this point. I was scrolling my Explore page and I came across this lens, and immediately I was like, what is that? Looked it up, saw that it was only $350, and I was like, I'm gonna get it just to try it out, just to test it out, just to show you guys what it looks like and what it can be used for, and essentially make a video on it, because I was very, very, very interested from the moment I seen that this lens basically moves. And I was basically sold the moment I seen the image that this lens produced, because it was so unique and so different from anything that I've seen within filmmaking that comes straight from the lens and not like an effect that you do in post. So yeah, I was like, I gotta get this lens just to, test it out myself, make a video on it, and just to have a little bit of fun. And speaking of fun, I made a little dream sequence video that I wanted to also show you guys that I made with just this lens. And yeah, just wanted you guys to check that out real quick. So I'm gonna roll it. You ever find yourself on one of the most beautiful beaches that you could ever find yourself? The sand is warm from the sun, and the water is fresh and cool, and everything is all good. Somehow you find yourself in a place with all your friends, and you're having a good time, swimming in a lake that feels like an ocean. And for whatever reason, one of your homies think he's Aquaman, and you witness a perfect sunset to end your perfect day. And the sky is so clear that the moon is the brightest you've ever seen it. And then night hits and it gets a little chilly outside, but it's all good because there's a bonfire. So you make s'mores and tell campfire stories, and everything is all good. And then boom, you realize none of that actually happened, and you're still in Detroit. And all those things were just in your head, and you have no friends. You were just daydreaming. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that little dream sequence short or video, whatever you want to call it, all filmed with just this Lensbaby Sweet 35. And honestly, I also did film maybe 2 parts of it with the DZO 35mm, but all the parts that were filmed with this is probably very obvious, and you can tell that it was filmed with this. So yeah, anyway, getting into this lens and the reason why I'm calling it the dream lens. So as you guys can see, this lens moves and it tilts and it shifts and moves around on an axis, and that is to create a selective focus. I also mentioned earlier that this is the optic swap system for this lens, meaning that you can take the actual optics for this lens, which is this, and you can put it in other Lensbaby kind of housings that they have to create different effects. But you could also buy different sets of these lenses. This is the 35 millimeter, but they make a 50 and they also make an 80 or an 85, one of the two. But yeah, they have other lenses that you can take out and swap, which means that you would only have to buy this lens once, and then you can buy the other optic systems for like $100 or something or something like that. Not very expensive at all. So yeah, just right off the bat, outside of the artistic effect that this gives, the one thing that I love about this lens is that it's extremely soft. I didn't have to use any diffusion or pro mist filters. I just used this lens as is. And I feel like because of the effect that this lens gives off, it already makes everything super soft. Also, this lens is not very expensive, and cheaper lenses usually tend to be a little softer. So even the in focus parts of this lens are a little soft, but not, I don't know, extremely soft or anything to, I don't know, complain about, because you're already buying a lens that has this super in your face effect almost, which honestly, that effect goes away kind of a lot if you stop this lens down to f/22, which makes sense because since this is a selective focus lens, the out of focus parts are going to have the most effect. And when you are wide open and things are, you know, extremely blurry, then those effects are probably going to be enhanced because of that. But when you stop this lens down to f/22, that effect almost kind of just disappears, which again makes sense. But you can still kind of see it in the corners if you look very, very closely. They do make this lens in a variety of mounts. I got the E mount one. The PL mount costs like $1,000 for whatever reason. I'm not really sure why, but I'm sure there's a good reason why. All the other ones like EF mount, E mount, and just, I don't know, regular mounts, Micro Four Thirds, cost like $350, which is pretty inexpensive and pretty affordable if, you know, you're going for that type of look. And after getting this lens, I did have some time to, you know, research and kind of figure out what was going on and kind of just like understand the point and the things that this lens is doing to create the effect that it's creating. And what makes this lens different from any other lens is that the curved field optic of this lens creates a spot focus. And when you tilt the lens, that can be manipulated in position by tilting the composer and manipulated in size by manually changing the aperture, which means the more you move, tilt, and shift the lens, the more you're creating a spot focus on a specific subject, which is why this lens is called the Sweet 35, because you're looking for that sweet spot when you're focusing. And I've said this already, but the thing that I love most about this lens is that it creates the dream-like effect and kind of just like the maybe disoriented, like say someone maybe fell and hit their head or woke up somewhere or did something to where their mind might be, you know, somewhere else. It kind of gives you that effect of somebody being disoriented or in a dream all within camera, and you don't have to do any of that in post. And I feel like it's a very common and very popular effect to do. I know a lot of people use it for music videos. People clearly, you know, use it for dreams and things of that nature. And I love that you can get all of that within camera and not have to do it in post. Or you'd probably just have to do a little bit extra in post and not as much of the effect that this already causes. I love that the field of focus shifts in a circle kind of, and not like in like a straight line, because a lot of tilt shift lenses kind of creates like lines of kind of focusing and like different type of layers of focusing, where this like kind of just creates a circle around the thing that's in focus, which is a unique and cool thing that's different that I kind of haven't really seen before. The downside to this lens is that you clearly can't use them for everything. There'll be times that I just want like a very clean and just regular looking image, and this was very over dramatic and over the top, and I feel like it can kind of only be used for that one thing or that one creative thing, where it's not like an all-around lens that you can use for everything, which is also okay, but at the same time the effect is a little much and you're just like, I just want to shoot something regular. And I probably wouldn't use this unless specifically I was going out with a specific idea and shoot in mind. I wouldn't just take this and throw it on my camera and just use it all day, every day. But if that was your thing that you were going for, you could 100% do that. Also, something else I don't like is that because it's so small and so lightweight and kind of like cheaply built, is that it's very light. So when I put it on my FX3, which is also a very light and compact camera, it does make the camera more light and accessible and easier to carry and pack up and stuff like that. But it just feels light, and I don't feel like I'm holding my camera, which I don't know if that makes sense to anybody who holds heavier cameras all the time, putting like this lens on it makes it feel like a little bit more fragile, which I don't like. And I also don't really care to, I don't know, like take care of my cameras. As you've seen, I was in the water with the camera while I was filming for this. I was on the beach. I never want to see sand again because it's so frustrating. I just felt more prone to like dropping it or doing something that I shouldn't be doing, maybe because the lens was so light, and I just felt like it was easier to, like, I don't know, maybe drop it or something like that, which is not essentially a big deal, but it's just something that I didn't really like that much. But outside of those maybe two things, everything else about this lens was, I don't know, very enjoyable. It's a talking point lens. I feel like I've had a bunch of conversations with people who've seen this lens, and yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's fun. And I feel like that's what filmmaking is all about, and that's what it should be all about, in testing and trying and doing new things and just having fun, which I did do. So I am happy about that. Outside of everything else, this lens made me very, very happy for the time that I was using it. So I think it served its purpose very well. But yeah, with that being said, that is the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, got something out of it. If you didn't, I do truly apologize for that. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment, do all the stuff the YouTubers tell you to do at the end of videos. I'm gonna get up out of here. I'm gonna go do some shit. You guys should go do the same. Watch some of these other videos that's about to pop up on the screen right here if you know what I'm saying, feel inclined to. With that being said though, I'm out of here. Let's go do some shit. You know the vibes, man. Let's get it.